This NFL Props Week 10 edition of the Sports Gambling Podcast is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Sign up with promo code SGPN to score up to $1,000 in bonus cash. We're also brought to you by Rhythm. Get your 7-day free trial today by going to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RITHMM.
This is Coach June Jones, and you're listening to SGPN. Let it ride.
The Sports Gambling Podcast. I'm Sean, stacking the money green with my partner in picks, Ryan, Real Money Kramer. What's happening, Kramer?
I realize I'm just gonna go wide because I mean, look what we got a lot going on the desk here. We got CJ here. We got goggles on a hat in front of Spuds.
Shout out to Spuds.
Something was happening over there.
And of course, shout out to CJ Sullivan, aka the Deli Llama, aka the man in the box, host of the Bottom Line Bombs. Shout out to the C Generates who are packing the chat. What's happening, CJ?
Nothing. Great to be here. Back in. What a great busy week. Speaking of the C-Generates, you guys, what a whirlwind taking social media by storm.
Oh yes, going viral with the I wagered sticker. There was it was a contentious, like everything associated with the election, very contentious. With some allegations of thievery, improper techniques.
An absolute creative force, CJ Sullivan's been over the last week.
Thank you, but it's not just the thievery. It's so hilarious, the thievery, and then the one company that put their own logo on there.
Did see a sports book, which will remain nameless.
I mean, how colonizing can you get? Literally taking it and then stamping your own flag.
We go way back, Dave. What the fuck?
Right, that's insane. And then who's the one who? Because then I love the. Going after him was even fun too. The lurkers, to stop the steal coming after him. Kramer was doing a great job on that. And then you got I learned the salute emoji pretty much. Like a lot of salute.
Do you know, for the longest time, I had no idea what the thing over here was.
Well played.
And once I learned it, it's like, that was my favorite response.
Was it you, Ryan, who thought it was a Roman soldier when we discussed this?
Yeah, I thought it was like
look up Urban Dictionary Roman soldier, but you imagine
a Trojan helmet, whatever you want to call it.
Put your
I don't even know what I thought it was.
Someone's head.
I had no
idea. Ryan
idea.
goes, "Isn't that's a dick on someone's head?" I go, "No, it's a hand saluting."
Honestly, it was one of those things where I just, whenever someone used it, I would just move on. I was like, I have no idea what that means. I'll move on. And I definitely did not think it was a salute. But to see some larger accounts steal it and then think it's okay, like we'll just move on because I'll compliment your joke that you hit me with
about stealing
after I stole.
Yeah, I love, because anytime you steal content, I'm overprotective of that, as the comedy world, because I understand a layperson doesn't care about it, and I get that, so we got to police our own, but especially they'll say it to your face like, "Oh, that's funny. I'm going to take that. I'm going to use it." It's literally like going to yours. "Oh, I like your TV. I'm going to take it. I want to put it in my apartment because I like the way it looks."
Sean, exactly. Sean, the only thing we can do here is create a hilarious, like, tiny hidden watermark that would only like, not words, not letters, maybe an image, maybe I don't know what it would be, but we'll figure something out where it's like, "Oh really, you also have the..."
Yes.
We'll get the, like, a little watermark, or maybe like you put on 3D glasses and you see.
Not get crazy.
That would be cool to have secret images hidden
for the
in 3D
first time
glasses.
ever. Sean is overthinking a situation.
And another one was the lengths people will go to not take accountability for it. They'll be like, "Listen, I'm not wasting my life on Twitter all day. People send me things like," and then meanwhile they're commenting on the compliments. I don't have time for all this. Like, just say okay, correct it. And I'll tag you now. fixed.
Yes.
You know, it's not a capital murder crime. I get that, but just fix it. Stuff.
It was
stuff
funny.
later.
Everyone was worried about the election. We were just like, "What the fuck's going on?"
No, the
here?
real issues.
Yes.
Absolutely.
What really matters in this country.
Us and Pam are like two middle school kids who have known each other since kindergarten, but have never talked. So yeah, for that to be the confrontation.
That's great.
Shout out to Blaine in the chat, ready for that dope hat. Yes, if you are a Patreon member, the SGPN Python hats, which are exclusive for the Patreons, those are getting shipped out. Shout out to Jake, did a great job on the hats. We're going to be getting some here for the studio as well. Nathan also says, "Fuck the suits." Appreciate that. But Steffi Smalls is here.
Yes.
Tyler checking in. Easy. J Mark and old fashioned football. The whole crew's here.
J Mark was part of the DGen army that
he
that
did.
attacked women online.
Let me think.
He did give it to Pam for stealing the graphic.
Thank you for your service, J Mark.
I was like, yeah, who attacked it? Then I just checked the thumb. Oh, J Mark went right in on Pam.
Well, cousin Mush is a Pam defender, and that was part of it. He goes, "Who's attacking Pam?"
Well,
for this?
is that Mush's message to you?
Yes,
That's
I
hilarious.
think so.
Yes,
I don't know, Kramer.
I love it.
Mush was checking in on back.
Sure.
I knew it was serious when he came through the back channel. You know,
Right.
had to take it off social media. Hit me with the text, see if everything's all right.
Oh, that's so great.
Yeah, no, very fun. I mean, in some ways,
That's great.
getting people stealing it is obviously the point, and that's
Yes.
but
Chopping it up online is always fun. Whether
But
it's
I'm on
going
this-
against the leans,
We got our money's worth with it for sure.
Yeah,
It was
come on.
amazing.
I'm on a serious heater right now.
Yeah.
Of just maybe the Jordan Love comments in the preseason were
Anytime I open up Instagram, it's just Packers fans yelling at a 6-week-old clip of Ryan shitting on Jordan Love.
I get people.
Who is this fat? Like they really insult Ryan.
Oh, he's the one who said Caitlin Clark's not an athlete.
Oh yeah, Ryan's quietly turning into a premier troll.
Yeah. So
The one Packers fan was great, going, "I got to know who this guy roots for because I can smell a dirty, grimy Bears fan a mile away."
You know what it is? It's having children in the age middle school, high school. You gotta get sharp.
Yeah.
Oh,
They're fast. They're
Steffi Small quoting it or claiming the name Jordan Levis. That is wow.
Yes, Jordan Levis. Well, that interception he had last week before halftime.
That was Will Levis.
That was amazing.
That was right up there with Will Levis.
I mean, I will say it's one of the things I've enjoyed the most about. I mean, I'm gonna lose a $500 bet to a guy that I bet a yards, like a rush pass yards and rush pass touchdowns. I stupidly didn't include like an interception angle. I'm gonna lose this bet, but watching Jordan Love just be comically bad at times is one of the more enjoyable things of my football season.
Who was your side?
Even above the Cowboys sucking.
Cowboys have been sucking. I feel like that's not getting enough attention.
I mean, it's what. I mean, there's a couple things keeping me afloat this season. One of them is I'm winning. I'm doing very well betting on the games. Two, Jordan Love sucking and the Cowboys sucking. Just watching this Cowboys dumpster fire. It's literally the gif of the dumpster floating down the river on fire, and to see the way that Jerry heard the voices, he wanted to fire the radio host. Then he hears the voices about how he's not committed and all in. So he makes a trade for a receiver that they had a second round grade on in 2023 for a 4th round pick. And it's like, holy shit. Like they just have to put him down. They need to do whatever the Epstein situation was. Jerry Jones is found in his bedroom. Like, sure. Yeah.
Just a drive out to the woods, kind of,
I mean, I just think at this point, they clearly have smart people in the organization as much as it pays. Like the second Jerry
Jones was taking credit for how they sucked.
No, here's the take.
That was an all time. That take was so hot. I loved it because he goes, "Oh, you are asking me about how we're struggling, and I do have a lot to do with it.
Right.
In fact,
Yeah.
I have everything to do with it." Like, wait, what?
He got tricked.
He didn't.
That's so
he was
funny.
willing to take the blame for the season sucking as long as it was made clear his finger and hands were on every decision. What an all-time take. Hey, we're sucking, but I'm the reason we're sucking. Like,
just shows you how his brain works. It's like Cowboys good or me the man. Me the man.
Right.
Let's go there first. But no, I mean,
I would send out a silver alert if I was a reporter there when Jones is wandering around there. You know,
I
coming up
think
to the press conference.
I think the second he dies, we have to take out an insurance policy on a Cowboys future.
Well, it's and I would never do that, Ryan, but it gets scary.
No, we'll buy an insurance policy.
What's that? Root for death? You're going to root for McCaffrey's injury.
It's not investing in the Cowboys. It's buying insurance against tragic magic at the highest level.
I like that.
One more social media note. Steffi pointed out you had a great tweet after the Giants loss, Ryan. And
what did I do? What did I do?
Well, you included.
Oh, Steph brought that up.
Yeah, included. You have a screenshot of Taylor Mathis saying, "I honestly have never been in such a dark place in my life."
It's totally not funny.
Don't kill yourself, everyone.
And the best thing about that tweet there, I mean, there's a lot of good things obviously about this whole story. I think her next one was, "Gosh, I love sports."
Yeah.
Right.
And also,
like, you know, immediately blow through that. Yeah.
If I
just
could
blow right through
say
that.
from a positive standpoint, much like Taylor, I'm bouncing back pretty well.
You
right
are
now.
bouncing back, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not bouncing as well as Taylor.
Now, Kramer, how did you even get that tweet? I thought she deleted all those suicide ones.
Listen, when you're in the space long enough, you know people.
All right.
Ryan and I are like mean girls of the gambling content space.
I love it.
I would say that I have a lot more resources and contacts than I thought I would have ever had.
We're plugged in.
And as someone who doesn't communicate well, I have a number of bat phones that seem to be useful. But I'm a horrible communicator. You should definitely not text me directly.
And shout out to Big W tossing us a couple bones here.
Yes.
Always appreciate that. Let's talk after the bye week, Kramer. Don't let this Broncos shirt fool you. My brother makes me wear them at games. Go Pack, go! So I don't know what's going on here, but Big
I'm not
W coming for you.
anti-Packers. You
just hate Jordan Love.
We're just through a tough political time, but I'm not pro or against anyone. I just want the truth. I just want the truth out there, and the truth is that Jordan Love is a bum. And he will continue to be a bum.
That sounds like you're unbiased.
I can't win with him.
I don't know why they accuse you of being a hater. I don't understand. I don't even know where that comes
where
from.
are they getting this from?
All right. So dead serious. How many quarterbacks are you putting ahead of him? You're starting a team today.
Levis number one
for one season. We're not talking some future bullshit.
No, this year you're talking about.
Just this year. There has not been a discernible difference between him and Malik Willis.
Wow.
Malik Willis looked horrible in every other example we have of him.
They had a very good system for Malik Willis. I will say that.
Yeah.
Also, Trevor Lawrence doesn't look like he's going to play. We'll see. Lines jumping up, which suggests
those were the two trash quarterbacks. Like if we had our show's take on which two quarterbacks were going to be trash this year.
Yeah.
Lead the league in interception, whatever angle you want to take. It was Trevor Lawrence and Jordan Love.
And Geno Smith was also, I feel like I was a big Geno hater.
Yeah.
And
anyway.
All right, let's talk
Jordan
some
Love,
props.
Jordan Love, not good.
I'll kick it off.
Just in case you missed me earlier.
The long story
and to
short,
summarize,
won't be having
closing remarks.
No interception prop this week though. So.
For me, first prop, Brock Purdy.
Oh, whoa.
Over
what?
14.5 rushing yards. Brock Purdy is turning into a scampering back. He's back-to-back games with at least 8 attempts.
This is
5-1 to the over the last 6 games. And it reminds me to point out to people that Christian McCaffrey, I'm projecting he won't play. I think if he does play, it's only a few carries.
Really?
I don't think he's not getting 20 carries. He has double Achilles tendonitis. The way you destroy your Achilles and actually break it is by playing too much football. I would be shocked if he plays a full game,
or if someone throws one of those spears, it hits you right in the Achilles. That's another way to take it down. More a historical context.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
all right.
It's happened before. Bow and arrow also.
Yeah, sure.
Hits that spot.
Kramer, are you in on the Brock Purdy rushing angle?
I'm in on the Niners.
Okay. And the Bucks are bad against running quarterbacks as well.
I honestly thought you were going to go passing yards. We kind of talked about it on the show, but yeah, I think
I don't mind it. I think they're going to be able to, and I do actually have another positive 49ers prop. So stay tuned.
What? 2 in 1 week,
Ryan?
I don't
just lock into my takes. I'm open to new information. There is one Bo Nix prop.
He's gonna love my Bo Nix underlay.
Yes.
Okay. Well,
no, I'm just kidding.
No,
I don't have a Bo Nix under.
Fucking dare you? Take it.
It is. You could tell it's election week here. It is just hot. People are coming in hot. Arguments flying across, a lot across the bows. Before, I mean, you should have seen the rehearsal show we did, listeners. There we did it in the morning.
Contentious.
Yeah, very hot blooded.
Got hot.
Kramer, what are you doing? Give me a prop.
All right, so we'll go. We'll stay negative. CJ Stroud in the Sunday night game under the passing yards of 230.5. He's actually been pretty shit lately. I also have most interceptions for him as well. He's not been throwing the picks, but yardage wise, Sean, he has gone under the number in 3 of the last 4 games. I understand he's back at home here, and I understand Nico Collins is set to return. I wonder, will Nico Collins be a full workload? We see this all the time.
Yeah.
Guys coming off this type of injury, they're not ramped up all the way in that first game. And 2, CJ Stroud is just in the middle of the sophomore slump. The 20 games of tape or whatever it is that we got on him, he's not the same quarterback. And I think defensive coordinators are finding ways to attack it. And oh, by the way, did you know, Sean, the Detroit Lions 5th in defensive EPA per dropback, which was shocking to me to see.
Is that for the season?
No, it's over the last 4 games.
Okay.
And so they've, and some of that is obviously they were playing in advantageous situations, but so we're going to take the yards under 230.5 for CJ Stroud.
CJ Stroud has to be careful. He's dangerously close to the Jordan Love zone.
What do you
with
mean?
Ryan? Well, the quarterbacks you hate and shit on constantly. CJ Stroud, he's been hovering, and you're slowly moving him into Jordan Love zone.
Did you guys not see the uniforms they're going to wear this weekend?
I saw. All right, so what,
They are very bright.
191 red. Against the Jets, 86 against the Packers, 192 against the Patriots.
Were any of them in all red uniforms?
No.
All right. No. After the election in Texas, it's going to be open carry there.
I will say the red versus blue does worry me a little bit being on the Lions. The only game he went over was against that cover 3 defense, Sean, that you love to talk about, the Gus Bradley runs in Indy. That is fairly easy to pick apart. So yeah, let's fade CJ Stroud this week. I think Detroit new acquisition on the pass rush. I think they'll be fine.
Well, Zadarius Smith, it was weird. They did give him a couple days off, so not 100% he's going to be playing.
Pass rush is the most likely to be out there to run a play or two. Yeah, I hear you.
I thought he was going to play, but I just read a note that he was given a couple days off to whatever move or whatever the deal is. Shout out to the chat. I've never come across this guy's Twitter handle before or YouTube handle before. Jerome Booger's Booger Sugar. All time.
Yeah.
Great. And it's a photo of Jerome Booger raising up his arms for a touchdown celebration. Shout out to you.
So it's the Jerome Booger's Booger Sugar. What was the other one? The Shed Powder.
Oh yeah, Shed Powder is taking the country by storm.
Incredible.
No, it was. I'd say Shed Powder is up there with nose beers.
Oh yes, very popular phrase for our audience.
Nose beers is very good.
CJ, what do you got? Do you got a prop?
Yeah, I brought a prop.
Okay. 20 minutes in, do you have a prop?
I'll pivot off. I'm not pivoting off that quarterback one first. I didn't have time for that, but we will keep talking election there. I love that New Orleans Atlanta game down there. We got the coach bump, of course.
Oh yeah.
And the Saints got the perfect interim coach with Rizzi, special teams coach.
Oh.
He's been calling other interim coaches. Dan Campbell, a former interim coach who did Oklahoma drills down there in Miami.
Oh, that worked.
They were interim coaches together, basically. He called up Todd Bowles. He called up Chris Taylor, who's Carolina's. How do I do the intern coach?
Wait, did you see John Gruden, the FFCA? So I guess John Gruden, you know, he had a lot of free time,
Yep.
and he called up all his other fired football coach guys,
this,
and they were breaking down film. They were still like game plans everywhere.
They're just hanging out at the house watching
and
film.
his wife goes, "You gotta get all this shit out of the house."
Right.
So he goes, "I rented a random building for $750 a month, and I launched the FFCA. It's the Fired Football Coaches Association.
Amazing.
You get fired, you come down here, you watch game film, we hang out."
That's
because I'm
amazing.
still hungry for one more shot. Like, he's turned into an amazing TikTok personality.
It's like the surreal life, but for fired
Yes,
coach.
yes.
VH1 surreal life.
Yes, that's great.
He's an amazing content creator.
Yeah, he's great, and I'm so like I said, I'm not accusing him of taking man in the box, but it's he's giving man in the box vibe. I'll just say that.
Oh, he kind of is. I agree with that.
But I still tap the Gruden. I like Gruden. That being said, back to that Saints game, Indian term coach situation. They're going to get the bump. I like New Orleans a lot this week, and especially against this Atlanta defense in that game anyway. Alvin Kamara, I expect him to have a big game. Of course, he just re-signed. Big contract, could vote of confidence. I'm going with the combination yards, 112.5 rushing and receiving, because you never know which way he is going to go.
Yeah.
So this way you carry them both. And I expect the Saints to have a bounce back here like that interim coach, but it's not sustainable. That's what I think is kind of what happened to Kamala. She kind of got dropped in, and there was a big excitement when she got in there, like the intern coach. Next thing you know, when election times, next thing you know, we got Antonio Pierce on our hands. We're like, oh God.
Yeah, it's that like after the run.
Right.
People are like, wait, this person?
People are Max Crosby's demanding trades. Well, you don't want us to keep him. You don't want us to sign this guy.
We got to get rid of.
Right. Now they want to get rid of Cavalli. You don't want to told us to take it. What are you doing here?
Yeah. What did you think we were going to replace him with?
Right.
Okay. I like that. Like the Alvin.
Oh, Kamala was also supposed to be a thing. I forgot the
Alvin Kamala.
Kamala.
Alvin Kamala Harris.
But this show's already been unhinged.
Justin Herbert.
There's no hinges here.
Over 227.5 passing yards.
Whoa.
They really kind of figured out this offense to a certain degree. They're at home. I think you can throw in this Titans team. L'Jarius Sneed is still out. Ladd McConkey has been getting a good run. I like the Ladd McConkey. Anytime price is a little short, it's like 145. But man, he's a legit red zone option. He's had like 100-yard game.
He's a wide angle. He's a wide angle release.
Wide angle release.
First team wide angle release automatically.
And I'll see if I can pull up the photo of Ladd McConkey. He's it kind of reminds me of Rick Moranis in Spaceballs. The helmet he has, like
dark helmet.
Yeah, his helmet is like bigger than his head. I don't know if there's like extra padding. Well, obviously every helmet has to, but he's got like extra padding.
Yeah,
is that what it is?
The extra big helmet. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. But not the
the cap.
I've seen the helmet condoms. I haven't seen the extra big helmet.
Yeah, wait till you see the extra big helmet with the condom on for the first time. It's gonna be, this is the first time I can remember all year that we have the same prop on this show.
Really? You also have
think and also just play the dumb handicap situation. Well, what has Herbert done recently? 237 against the Broncos, 349 against the Cardinals, 279 against the Saints, 282 against the Browns. So, obviously this offense has changed since the bye week, and they're passing more, and they're only getting healthier with the receivers. I mean, is there a chance Chark is out there this week? So absolutely. He's nailed this the last 4 weeks. 3 of those games were on the road, and sprinkle in the fact that Tennessee is going to make it tough for them to run the ball. So he's going to have to pass the ball here. Yeah, this is a mega smash. This is potential ladder also.
Yeah, no, I think his ladder is like 300 yards is 6 to 1. You hit on that, Ryan. Yeah, that's against the Cardinals. He's hit
275 or more in his last 3.
Yeah. All right, real quick. I mean, we gotta look at Ladd McConkey and tell me this is not the same as Ladd, and then. I mean, tell me this is not Rick Moranis from Spaceballs, which I will.
He's got a small. I mean, he's also small, so it doesn't help, or it doesn't like. It's kind of one of those.
All right, tell me that's not the same guy.
His Schwartz is as big as mine is.
Jake, if you could please work up a Lad McConkey Spaceballs Photoshop, I'd really appreciate it.
Oh, imagine like a Chargers Spaceballs helmet.
Rick Moranis, Martin Short done right. I've always said that's my hot take.
Pretty hot.
Oh yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
And it's a little dig on Martin Short.
Yeah, absolutely.
Appreciate it. Nice 2 for 1.
That's good.
CJ, what do you got?
All right, I'm switching over. I'll mix it up a little. I looked at a couple defensive props coming at you. Now, I couldn't find a number. Stay tuned for the VSiN. My
Deli Llama can't find. CJ, pull one out right over there.
Yeah, pull a number out.
You got it.
There we go.
Deli Llama, also known as Deli Roll.
There you go.
That's a 21.
People might not realize we actually do have a.
I know.
When I did the Deli Roll caution, people couldn't believe, like, you actually got a deli machine? Like, where'd you get? That's pretty impressive.
Don't worry about it.
Don't you worry about where we got it. You got to back order.
I told you, I know people.
Yeah.
You gotta
on the
find a
internet.
made man.
I got people on the internet.
Absolutely. I was going to go with your guy who was a great revenge game, Brian Burns, of course, the greatest defensive free agent signing of all time. I was told in the summer when he
Wow. Okay.
But they're playing Carolina, of course, over there in Germany. I could not get a Deli number, so maybe that'll be in the future. But keep an eye out for those Brian Burns numbers. But Nick Bosa. Is there a happier man in the football league right there?
It's like having a baby.
Yeah, I mean, he's selling cigars, wearing his MAGA hat, smile ear to ear in the locker room, talking about how he said the country has spoken, not apologizing for nothing because the woke is finally taken down. He has even money to get a sack this weekend versus Baker Mayfield down there in Tampa Bay in that offensive line. You saw what happened on Monday night. It was sacks left and right. I mean, I don't see quarter of a sack is only minus 130 if you want to do that, which is he could stumble into that. Statbacker's going to get that, but I think he gets a sack at even money. I love Bosa for a happy MAGA Bosa.
Yeah,
as he joins the country after a big election.
It is but it could be the other way. Is it possible he's celebrating? And this is a dump the Gatorade.
Right?
He dumped the Gatorade.
He was. I mean. I always find it strange when an athlete feels the need to share their political views.
Yeah.
So, and we know Nick Bosa, the concussion test baseline is very low. So I don't
unrelated, right?
Yeah.
Well, I'm just saying, I'm putting these ingredients together. Yeah. How is he going to respond to Donald Trump winning the pick? He could have been partying. Right.
He could be happy. You're right. It'd be a sack ladder if he lost. But his anger would come out. But I did love when he photobombed with the MAGA hat. And then in the press conference after they asked him about it, he goes, I don't want to talk about it. It's not the platform. What? You don't want to talk about it?
Obviously, you were trying to talk about it.
You just ran up to the camera with it. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
I got another prop before we do. Shout out to BetUS, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/BetUS. Use that promo code SGPN so they know we sent you. Again, appreciate everyone signing up over there. Yeah, do yourself a favor. You always need an extra out, another place to get down. BetUS really has it all. I mean, again, if the election is over, but they had election betting, live in-game bonuses, crypto bonuses, obviously college football. Hell, hit up the little casino live dealer, blackjack. That's always a fun online. You can get some casino deposit bonuses, the race book. There's all sorts of promos. You can get started today by sportsgamblingpodcast.com/BetUS. They're promoting Jake Paul versus Iron Mike Tyson. I know Ryan really thinks Mike Tyson's gonna put him down. I'm skeptical.
Yeah, my take is simply just Mike Tyson is a different level of human.
I agree, but there's also like 40 years age difference.
It's true.
Sportsgamblingpodcast.com/BetUS. My next prop. CJ.
Also, worth noting, I also wouldn't ever want to come across Mike Tyson and have the off chance that he listens to the show and thinks that he's going to lose to a
I heard you were fading me on your show.
Listen, I'm not looking to get into that kind of situation.
I'm gonna murder your family.
Last thing I need is to get raped by Mike Tyson.
Yeah, no, that's yeah. And he did go to jail for that. All right. Anyway, George Kittle.
Good Lord.
George Kittle over.
No hinge given.
No. Well, I don't know. I couldn't find a way out or a transition.
No, it's a great segue. Anything that leaves it behind is perfect. Just move on.
I couldn't find a way out.
That was so great.
Kittle over 56.5 receiving yards.
A rape Kittle? The pun was there.
It walked right in. 5-2 to this over, including 4 in a row. Debo, he's a little banged up. Bucks second in receiving yards allowed to the tight end. The secondary in general for the Bucks has been really bad. Now maybe Christian McCaffrey comes back and has the game of his life and steals all these. See what I did, Ryan? I gave 2 49ers positive props, but really it's just going out of my way to shit on Christian McCaffrey. I think Kittle has a big game receiving, and I think Purdy has a big game on the ground. So 56.5 receiving yards. Ladder is a possibility as well.
Don't say that too loud.
Okay.
All right. Let's see. Do I want to? I did both my quarterbacks. Let's do a running back. We'll go first one. Homer pick. Tyrone Tracy, 16.5 attempts. We're going over. If you've not been paying attention, last week, great example. Daniel Jones, negative passing yards at the half, and still in a game they lost and were losing by multiple scores. Tyrone Tracy still managed to get 16 attempts last week. 20 before that against Pittsburgh. Cincy 17, Seattle 18. So 4 of the last 5 he's been 16 or more, with the number bumping up to 16.5. Okay. Maybe we're scared a little bit. Nope. Not against this Carolina Panthers team. They're just going to pound the rock. I don't exactly know what Dable's thinking about. He clearly doesn't think Daniel Jones can be the quarterback because he's not really calling plays that way, but he also continues to start Daniel Jones as the quarterback. So I think it's going to be a healthy dose of Tyrone Tracy, and I'm going to take the attempts here over 16.5.
Have they confirmed that Daniel Jones will be the quarterback today yet?
No, they usually do it a couple times a week.
They do that on Tuesday, CJ.
Tuesday's confirmation.
Happy Tuesday. 2 for Tuesday. We got Daniel Jones named the starter and Brian Dable not worried about his job.
I feel like, we've talked about this a lot. People don't like the repetitive topics.
What?
Just talking about the same thing over and over again.
They like that. I've gotten good feedback on that. And you thought I was making up my made up haters on my Broncos stuff. Guy just slid into my DMs on Discord and he goes, "You're right, Sean. I was doubting you on that Broncos over 5.5 win total." Then he said, "Forgive me." He said he's an Auburn guy and he was skeptical. He had his issues with Bo Nix.
All right, that's fair. Wow. He's a different man. He's all grown up now.
He is. He had a lot of work.
He went west, and
don't you feel stupid now, Kramer? Someone slid into his Discord DMs.
Yep.
You're right. How did we get back on Bo Nix, CJ? This is
don't worry.
All roads lead to Bo Nix.
We got Bo Nix coming up. CJ, what do you got?
I'll do a running back one. I got two running backs in this game. You can choose either one, of course. Obviously, that I like them both, but I went with Ramondre Stevenson in this Bears Patriots game. The Bears defense, Arizona last week only ran for 213 yards, 3 touchdowns, 6.5 a clip on them. Arizona running backs. They also just lost their best run stopper with Andrew Billings, their defensive tackle, who's actually the only one playing good on that front line there. The only problem is New England's offensive line is horrible. They do not produce the ball.
It's
so
bad.
It is very bad, but you're getting a low number at 52.5 for Ramondre Stevenson against just a horrendous rush defense that is the Bears. Their secondary is very good. Their rush defense is not. I also like Swift as well to have a nice game, but I'm going to go with Stevenson over 52.5.
He was part of that magical play from last week that allowed them to go to overtime and cover the spread but lose the game.
Was that the best 10-yard Hail Mary you've ever seen before? I mean,
it was excellent.
Why were they only rushing 3 like it was a Hail Mary?
It was excellent.
They're on the 5-yard line.
There was so much.
It was excellent.
It's just the Titans season in a nutshell. It's so funny.
They were just letting him run around.
It was so funny.
Like as if that was part of the defensive scheme.
No, don't let him get a playoff.
Don't let him run.
He's out there on the 20. Right. Like what? No, pressure him. Don't let him throw the football. I don't understand that. I'm gonna fade a hot hand here. DeAndre Hopkins under 51.5 receiving yards. I like the angle as well as rhythm. Shout out to Rhythm, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RATHMM. Go over there, get set up on some NFL player props. You can build your own NFL model. They also got NBA going, NBA player props. College basketball just launched. You get it all for one subscription, 7-day free trial. Honestly, just try it. build a couple models, give it a week, see what you end up with. I don't gotten a ton of good feedback on it, so I think you'll really enjoy it. sportsgambling.com/RATHMM. I just think the situation spot, kind of why I like the Broncos, but I think he could see Patrick Surtain for a decent amount of this game. I know the Broncos had trouble dealing with the speed of Zay Flowers, but DeAndre Hopkins is more of a contested catch guy. Not quite as fast, obviously. 8 for 86 he had last week against the Bucs, and the Bucs secondary is really bad. I imagine this is going to be a bounce back game for the Broncos secondary in general and their defense. And you're playing a team who had a very physical game against the Bucs in overtime. Yeah, they get the win. They always do. They're the Chiefs. And you're an older guy on a short week that just got going in the offense. I think it's just going to be tough for him to have back-to-back awesome weeks. So I'm going under 51.5 receiving yards. Kramer?
All right. Fading D-Hop, huh? I don't know.
Nuck, as the kids call
letting the AI get to your head.
No, I like the
I
case.
see what's going on over there. All right, I'm gonna stay with my my new favorite team, the Arizona Cardinals. Great matchup this week, going against the Jets, specifically on the ground. I don't quite understand how we saw in Circa Million they're a dog on the closing line. I get it. The Jets look good against the I don't think the Texans are very good either. I do think this Cardinals team is good. People expect them to have a letdown here. No, I don't know. I think they're going to be able to push them around a little bit on the defensive line. And when they had James Conner over the last 6 games, he's had 18, 19, 7, 19, 20, 18 carries. And in general, when they give him the ball, they give him the ball all the way up. So the fact that his carries total attempts is only 17.5, again, fairly high, as it's typically around 15.5, but he's gone over this number in 5 out of the last 6, Sean. 5 out of the last 6. He's gone over this. And I see no reason to shift the matchup as you look at what the Jets can and can't do. 24th rush defensive DVOA, 28th defensive adjusted line yards. This is how you attack the Jets. So James Conner to get over 17.5 rush attempts or carries. Why don't they call them carries? All the books list them as rush attempts.
That's a good question.
I don't know. We call them
look into
carry
that. Bet Detective, you're right here. Can you open up a case on that?
Carries per attempts? Well, because they
is that a better word? Carry just
rush carries is longer too.
I just don't say rush. Just say carries.
Right. Well, carries
and then carrying the ball.
Exactly. Well, then you get a basketball term. You don't want to cross over.
Okay. That's true.
Carrying.
That's true. They don't call carrying in basketball.
No, they're not called. Not in the NBA, but in other sports they do that for sure.
CJ, you're on the clock. What do you got?
All right. Our old favorite team, the Indianapolis Colts, had a nice game this weekend versus Buffalo Bills. And of course, our guy Flacco is back in the saddle, and
Flacco,
and people are back down on Flacco because he had one bad. He had one bad game for the AR truthers out there who want to act like, see, it would have been the same exact thing.
Yeah, no, come on. What are you talking about?
As I said earlier, and I tweeted out before, that it is not controversial to bench the statistically worst quarterback in the league. In my day, that's what would happen.
Yes.
Bad, you can bench him just for each week.
Whoa.
But we all know who Joe Flacco does like, and that is Josh Downs. Last 3 games that Flacco did play versus Tennessee, Downs went for 766 and a touchdown.
Loves Downs.
Versus Jacksonville, the big game Flacco had, he went 9 catches, 69 yards. Versus Pittsburgh, when he only played half of a game, Downs went for 8 for 82 and a touchdown. Flacco loves Downs.
Loves him.
His total's at 60.5. He hasn't gone below that yet with Flacco as a quarterback. Let's make it 4 for 4, 60.5 Josh Downs.
System of the Downs.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Berman.
Yes.
Berman would like that.
Berman would like that as a rock and roll guy.
Kramer, I'm gonna quiz you here a little bit. You're a very sharp guy. Some say one of the sharpest in the biz.
Am I supposed to get it right or wrong? We didn't talk about this.
No, this is actually, you can get it right.
Okay.
I'm going to tell you, this guy, he has 13 red zone rushing attempts, 4 of which have resulted in a touchdown. He also has 1 receiving touchdown on. I don't know how many targets off the top of my head.
Bo Nix.
Fuck. But all right.
After your first one, I said this must be a quarterback. And then when you went to the receiving touchdown, I was like, oh, well, come on.
And then it was Sean. You've been talking about Bo Nix every week since the season.
Bo broken record Nix. Yeah. But what would you price his anytime touchdown at? Come on.
What? Why did you think I wasn't going to? All right. So
no, I knew you were going to guess the guy. It was more.
So that profanity was genuine. That anger was genuine. I thought you were joking. Like you were like setting him up for the Bo Nix. Like, of course it's Bo Nix. That's even better than
I was.
I was trying to get him to guess the price, but he ruined the surprise.
All right. So the price would probably be
the price. So how I imagine this going, you were going to say a low number and then I go, no. And it's this, and it's Bo Nix.
He did the classic guess where you over guess it to disappoint the person.
Sean,
now Ryan's gonna fuck the whole thing.
So Sean's excited, which is already influencing where I'm gonna set the line. Right. I would imagine that Bo Nix should probably have like a plus 220.
4 fucking 10.
What?
Book it.
Oh my god.
It still worked.
Wow.
It still worked.
Yeah, absolutely.
It still worked.
Wow. How many does he have?
He has 5 touchdowns. 4 rushing, 1 receiving.
That's amazing.
No, I mean,
that's better than most. No, that's a lot of.
He like is their goal line back.
The fact
everyone's on such edge. Are you being sarcastic? Are you fucking with me right now?
Well, it's Bo Nix. I'm telling you, CJ. There's every. We can talk about the other 31 teams, no problem.
All right.
We bring up the Broncos, and it's like, all right, but get the eggshells out.
Watch your fucking mouth.
All right, so Aaron Jones in the receiving game. I mean, Jacksonville's been horrible. Bottom 5 in DVOA, defending the running back. In the passing game, we know they play a lot of man coverage. I think Sam Darnold's going to cook in this one. Maybe you could look to some Sam Darnold overs as well, but. And I'm sure certainly Justin Jefferson will cook. TJ Hawkinson's going to be out there a bit more, but I really like the Aaron Jones number because Sean, last week it was 24.5. This week it's 17.5. I don't understand why. Shout out FanDuel. He's gone over this number in the last 7 games. What am I missing?
What are we doing here?
His number got to as high as 32.5 this year, and they're dangling 17.5. Against the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Yeah, I mean, spoiler alert: Aaron Jones receiving yards is my ladder.
Oh.
So seems like we're on.
We crossed. We might have crossed our streams.
Oh, okay. Some ladder streams.
I did not do a Bo Nix touchdown ladder.
Well, you should. CJ, what do you got? Last prop, and then we talk ladders. We got DGens only.
Yes,
got it all.
All right, sounds good. I want to stick with this defense because I think this is the market we're looking for. I'm always looking for the new market, as you would say, Kramer.
Like
I don't think they're watching the games sometimes, especially when it comes to defensive. I mean, they put up numbers on all these defensive players. There's no way they could be factoring all this in. We're going back to that Colts game. Kenny Moore, cornerback for Indianapolis, the last couple weeks he's been tearing it up. He's finally healthy. They like it a lot, and I like when they're going against a team that you're going to be down a lot when you go to the tackles, obviously, and then be game script. The last 2 weeks, Kenny Moore's had 7 solo tackles the one game. Then he had 6 solo tackles with a fumble scoop for a touchdown. And they got his prop at 3.5 solo tackles.
What?
I mean, what is going on here?
The hinges are still off. We got solo tackles on.
Solo tackles.
The IDP expert.
I mean, he's doubled these in the last couple of games, and before that, you're using his full season stats, but he wasn't healthy for all that. I mean, he was playing but banged up, and he was not full rotation. Now he's still in full rotation, and he's been beasting out there. I mean, if they would allow tackle ladders, I might get into it, but they did not. That's the Dalai Lama number I can throw at you. 3.5 over tackles for Kenny Moore, D-back for Indianapolis Colts.
Shout out to the chat. Got a couple guys sending in props. Feel free to send in your props there.
Show us your TDs.
Yeah, old fashioned football. Okay, J Mark likes Jefferson 100+ receiving yards at even money on DK.
Sure. He also said easy, CJ. What I mentioned? Make fun of a bear or something?
Oh, boy.
Jesus.
can't. Maybe he's worried you're stealing his angle because Easy's been on a heater with some defensive props, giving out Cameron Bynum interception 5-1. And Deandre Leor interception at 525.
Like
a couple of his favorite INT props, Ryan. He's Easy might be onto something.
Oh, and he says they do have tackle ladders
Yeah.
at Caesars. Yes.
Oh man.
Well, I'm all for if you can get a ladder that starts at 3.5 for Kenny Moore.
Caesars, shout out to them bringing us the good stuff.
It just reminds me, if we ever get a bigger office, I do want one of those sleds you have to run through with the arms. It's not
like the thing that Zeke couldn't get through.
Yeah, one of those would be awesome. When you come through the the entrance of the building,
right?
You got to run through one of those things.
Yeah,
I'm gonna look that up.
So if you're a pussy, you can't get into our office.
No. Hey, we'll talk ladders here in just a second. But before we do, Underdog Fantasy promo code SGPN. We're going to be giving out Underdog entry here just a second, but get over there. Use UnderdogFantasy.com promo code SGPN. Get you a sweet deposit match. Again, the money is where the boosts are, and they're really good about hooking your account up with some boosts. I think you got to sign up in the Discord. DM Ryan privately; he'll walk you through it. Yeah, you get the profit boost, vulture protection. There's so many extras they toss at you. Really add some nice value. UnderdogFantasy.com promo code SGPN.
I would say unless you're Bo Nix looking for how to get into the underdog Discord, then you can hit up Sean directly. He'd probably want to. Yeah,
I mean, Bono's Discord, and he knows touchdowns. I'll say this:
he might not know Discord.
Yeah, I don't know if he does know Discord.
No, he probably doesn't.
He did go to college for 5 or 6 years.
Yeah, he was probably hanging out.
Good point. Yeah, he's in his 30s.
Pretty smart guy.
Early 30s. NFL, my prop ladder. Give me the Aaron Jones receiving yards. 25 is +145. 40s 4-1. 50 7-1. That's as high as they have it right now. But I'll be looking to extend it. So the Aaron Jones receiving yards. It's a great spot.
Go long. I did.
Kramer, what do you got?
No, I mean you nailed the. So I actually have 2 concepts.
Oh, concepts. All right.
Well, not concepts, but 2 ideas. One already down on, and you called out one of the props. So the George Kittle one is very. He's also coming off a massive game. He just did this. Maybe you're worried about chasing it, but they didn't adjust the ladder prices too much. So as you mentioned, Sean, what 58.5 was the base?
Yep.
70 yards is +150.
Or no, I think 56.5. Yeah, 56.
70 is +150. 90 is +350. 100 is +500. 110 went over this last week. 7-1. 120 went over this last week. 11-1. He's most likely going to be the primary target in the pass game against the team that are gonna, they're going to force you to do that. They're also willing to give you the space over the part of the field that George Kittle operates. We saw a combination of Travis Kelce and Justin Watson operating in this space last game against the Chiefs. So yeah, why can't he run back his 128 yards from last week? Why can't he?
No, I mean, and they're coming off a bye
for 11-1.
Yeah, they should be able to shred this. This
2 weeks
this
ago,
Bucs defense is bad. I'm really
secondary is a joke.
I was optimistic about their defense, and I'm just coming to grips with that. They suck. So
I think they're a classic Todd Bowles defense. When they weren't getting this otherworldly play from individuals, he typically has a great run defense, good blitzes, and a bad back end that is saved by the blitzing and by the confusion. And so. Yeah, I think the idea that they could get shredded by this type of offense. Love the George Kittle angle this week.
CJ, what do you got?
All right, we got a ladder here,
and he's happy for Nick Bosa for having his baby.
Happy Bosa's nothing better than that. I was going to do a DJ Moore since I saw J Mark in the booth there, but I couldn't in the chat room there. Can't trust him to stay on the field while the play is occurring, so we could not do DJ Moore.
It's true. There's obviously some bad something going on.
He tried to say it was a sprained ankle, and then he was in the next play.
Right. You should have said, "Oh, I thought Caleb stepped out." I don't know what he's doing back there. I thought he ran out of bounds. Who knows? You could have said
they got to fire someone.
It's amazing. But I'm going to go to a well that hit last week for my DGen parlay. We had half the parlay when we had Devontae Smith. We had him for 2 touchdowns and over 100 yards. He had almost 100 yards and a touchdown. And that's going for the number 2 receiver against this awful Jacksonville secondary. And they've been hitting week after week. Devontae was the last week. So this time I'm going to go with Jordan Addison. Justin Jefferson numbers, of course, way too big for a ladder. But Jordan Addison, and then this Jacksonville secondary, it cannot be understated enough how bad they are. 40 yards is the low rung here for Jordan Addison, the number 2.
Really?
Yeah, for this Vikings game that might be a romp. And I expect to get this done by halftime.
I like this.
Pop up for 60 yards plus 225. 70 yards plus 360. Keep that beanstalk going. 80 yards plus 550. And we don't even need to get to 100. 90 yards for Jordan Addison, the speedster on the 410 highway, plus 850. That's not the interstate number. That's what the odds you're getting. 8.5 to 1 for 90 yards for Jordan Addison.
Yeah, that Jags secondary is pretty bad. Yeah. And Devonta Smith had a really good game. I think AJ Brown would have continued to eat if he had, if he hadn't gotten banged up
granted,
there.
that helped Devontae AJ going out, but still.
But I felt like they threw pretty easily on that
for sure, and they're very similar too. The deep shot and also some good routes.
Kramer, Riley checking in live on YouTube. He was wondering, Zay Flowers. What's your take on Zay Flowers tonight?
He's great.
Okay. Do you like him on any props?
If I was gonna play, I mean, I think this is good. If you listen to the podcast, which we recorded last night, worked very hard.
Tuesday.
Oh, we also broke down the game last night. I was referring to the pick.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I believe it's going to be a shootout. I believe it's going to be a shootout where Lamar does what he wants. They're going to run the ball. Obviously, I like Keaton Mitchell to squeak up a rushing ladder. And if I was playing Zay Flowers, I would go for yards or maybe I'm playing an anytime touchdown, but the receptions have gotten pricey, and we don't know about Deontay Johnson. We don't know exactly who's going to get the void left by Isaiah Likely. Even though he hasn't been doing much, that kind of role in the offense, like maybe is Bateman going to still, so I'll go over. Yards.
I just got in on Deontay Johnson on Underdog. His number's down to 17.5 receiving yards.
Really?
I think he has could have a breakout game. He only got 30% of the snaps. I think he's gonna have a nice little bounce back.
Are they worried that Deontay Johnson might not fit in because he actually runs routes?
That's not their style here.
That's not what Baltimore does.
We played the game on the show, but who's taller, Deontay Johnson or Zay Flowers?
Deontay Johnson or Zay Flowers?
Yeah.
Wow. I'd say Deontay Johnson.
Yeah, he's 5'10". Zay Flowers 5'9".
Both tiny by
very
NFL
short
standards.
guys. And Deontay Johnson known as a short guy, but Zay Flowers is a low key short guy for sure. But I knew because
he's on the low.
I knew him from the
BC.
Whoa, easy with that.
Sean, we gotta get that.
As they would say on the market, pause on that.
Damn, Sean.
All right, fellow DGens, what do we got for a DGen only parlay? Kramer, what do you got?
All right, so inspired by Easy on the pregame show. Check out the pregame show, 9 a.m. Pacific time, running up to kickoff on Sunday. We're gonna do a 2 touchdown parlay.
Love it.
And we're gonna take 3 guys, 2 touchdowns each. So I will also round robin this.
Okay.
George Kittle.
Yep.
Aaron Jones. Jahmyr Gibbs.
Oh, okay. So you're playing them as a parlay and round robining.
So yeah, the 2s and 3 would be a $15,000 payout for $100. Just the 3 legs is going to pay you. Let's see, 300 and. Ooh, I mean, even this, 100 to win 34K.
Really?
So, yeah. So we'll go 400 to win 45K.
That's a pretty big number. CJ, can you beat that? What do you got?
No way.
What was your number?
I'm doing a round robin, but the 3-leg it's a 3-leg and then 3 2-legs.
Yeah.
The 3-leg is 341 to 1.
341 to 1.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Just 3 guys have to score 2 touchdowns: Kittle, Aaron Jones, and Jahmyr Gibbs.
Oh wow, that seems very easy. Sure.
I know.
How does it not hit?
Sean, remind me to get this down on all the Vegas apps when we land.
Okay.
No, that's impressive. I mean, that'd be a great day. You know, if you hit a 340 to 1. I mean, can you imagine the things you could do that? But now, I mean,
I'll be getting limited though. That'd be bad.
It'd probably be limited. Now I don't know what would happen if you hit my parlay, which is
here we go.
6,426 to 1.
Okay, this isn't real.
And it's also 3 guys that need to score 2 touchdowns.
I'm listening.
And it's very reasonable. We start right off with Cam Akers in that Minnesota-Jacksonville game there. Cam Akers is clearly the number 2 running back now, obviously behind Aaron Jones. He's got 22% of the snaps. He had 6 carries for 46 yards out. Now this game might be a blowout with Mac Jones in there. That's why I want to hit my Jordan Addison by halftime. Then they're going to run the ball in the second half. And you got to run the ball. And Cam, and Connell loves Cam Akers. They traded for him twice. Every year they trade for Cam Akers.
Yeah. He's going back and forth like a ping pong ball.
He is going back and forth with the ping pong ball. So he's 16 to 1 for 2 touchdowns. Then we're going to go up your alley here, Kramer, and that's over there in Germany. And that's New York Giant tight end Theo Johnson.
Yeah,
I love that rookie out there. He's been he's getting a lot of red zone looks, and he's been kind of their goal line guy. From my 2 touchdowns for him, I believe, is around 12 to 1.
Well, that would be interesting. I like that.
And then we had a 3rd leg. We already talked about that horrendous Tampa Bay secondary. Now it's questionable if he does play or not. But if he does play, he's a prime 2 touchdown target. That's Jawan Jennings for San Francisco at 18 to 1. So you put those 3 together: Cam Akers, Jawan Jennings, Theo Johnson. That is 6,426 to 1. Now, if Jennings does not play, you can just do Johnson and Akers. That's 450 to 1. Just Akers. That's if Jawan Jennings does not play. They'll bump it down to that, to a reasonable 459 to 1.
All right, like it, CJ. Now mine's what are we looking at here?
Did I saw you working over there.
Me?
Were you working it to make it bigger than mine?
No.
Be honest.
Riley. So I
Liar.
I had 2 guys I wanted to do for 2 touchdowns, but then I thought I was just gonna give them out individually. But then
it's fucking good.
Riley.
That's a soundbite, by the way. I had 2 guys I wanted to do.
Riley mentions one of them in the chat. Adam Troutman, 2 touchdowns. 2 touchdowns. Against the Kansas City Chiefs? Now, granted, they have a good defense, but notoriously one of the worst teams against the tight end. We've been eating off this all season. Basically, anyone who's playing the Chiefs is feeding families right now. 8 games, they've allowed 643 receiving yards. In second place is the Tampa Bay Bucks, 627 in 9 games. Also, not great. They've only allowed 3 touchdowns, so not obviously as many touchdowns, but you can get going with this with the tight end option. Adam Troutman is the leading option there in Denver. Ryan, what do you think 2 touchdowns from Adam Troutman is?
Just laughing because you were getting upset earlier. You couldn't find some Troutman numbers.
I know. I don't even want to guess a number because
Troutman 2 touchdowns.
One book was too scared to list it.
Yeah, and
they had their 2 touchdown prices. He was not on it.
If you get it right, he screams at you. That's what I don't even want to guess.
It's possible. It's possible Troutman is bumping up against that 100 to 1.
100 to 1
boundary. Yeah, that's the number.
And then the other guy, you nailed it, right?
Sometimes I'm not good.
He's sharp. Brock Purdy, 2 touchdowns, 45 to 1. Yes. He's had 3 rushing touchdowns in the last 2 games. He had a 2 touchdown game against the Chiefs. Had one last game they played against the Cowboys. Now off a bye with Christian McCaffrey. I'm projecting not being in. 2 touchdowns, 45 to 1. Combine those together, you have a bet that's plus 464 500. 100 wins you $465,000.
So, do you think any news sources will pick up that you are declaring?
I mean, we've gone down this road before where I put out fake news like that. It just gets people really angry.
Who does it make angry? Fantasy people, though.
Fantasy people.
But who cares about fantasy people?
Yeah, they get real. Yeah, maybe I will.
We don't care.
Maybe I will release it.
Yeah.
And just see what happens. Well, and it's great because then when it does happen, I go, see, I told you. And then if it doesn't happen, I go, my source was wrong. I apologize.
You know how you do this? I'll text it to you and you just screenshot the bubble.
Oh yeah, great idea, right? Yeah. Great idea. Text me that right now, and then I'll tweet it out. Go. But you gotta talk in like football guy terms. CMC.
This feels like a better job for CJ.
Yeah, or Bet Detective. You can send it over. Just go. Be like CMC. CMC's not quite there yet. Not going to go on Sunday.
I got a desk full of cases. I'm already the Bet Detective's already got to get through. I don't know if I can tackle on McCaffrey.
He's jonesing for overtime.
I was gonna say, sounds like he's asking for more money.
Next, the Bet Detective Union we got to deal with. All right, closing it out with the Underdog fantasy play. One entry, one leg per person. I feel like we've been really close on these past couple ones and just come up a hair short. You know what? Yeah, I'll kick things off. A lot of discussion about Adam Troutman on this show. Adam Troutman.
He was.
Oh, never mind. They only have his touchdown, which I do like, but obviously I don't want to make it as crazy of an entry. Kramer, what do you got first? You go first.
All right. So we didn't talk Khalil Shakir on the show. Let's go there. Let's take the receiving yards. We know the defense that he'll be operating against is going to be very much a zone. Shakir has been very good operating against the zone. And I don't know what kind of game this is going to be. They might struggle. We think they're going to struggle to run the ball. So let's take the Shakir higher receiving yards.
Shakir higher 55.5 receiving yards. And
Cooper and Coleman are banged up at best. So
Shakir a soundbite, Sean?
Oh yeah. What am I doing?
55.5 receiving yards or 5.5 receptions.
Yes.
What do you guys think?
He looked amazing last week.
Receptions or receiving
yards? He's so fast.
I don't know. I feel like I have better luck with the receptions.
Receptions?
Or sorry, yards.
I was going to say with Shakir, I like yards.
Yards,
sure. Because he can take one bubble screen.
Let's go yards.
Yards for sure.
CJ, what do you got?
Well, you're right. You got Underdog. You find some numbers that you can't find sometimes in other books. That's what makes Underdog Fantasy such a great site. Your number one site for fantasy.
There
football.
You go.
Wow, jeez, this guy. Look at him.
Promo code bombs. Anyway, if you want to,
yes, I like it. See how he snuck in there? That's a read.
That's a pro. Can't even hate on him.
The ultimate defensive revenge game for your New York Giants. Who do they lead the league in sacks as a team? Is that right? Did I hear that right?
Well, they're number one in adjusted sack rate. I believe they might have the most sacks.
Well, the amazing free agent signing of Brian Burns came over from Carolina. He has 5 sacks on the season, right? He's been getting hot. Higher than 1 sack. It's actually a little fraction less than one there, but half of a sack. I mean, so a half.
It's a bland. That's the opposite of spicy.
Right.
I'm workshopping it.
A little bland. Yeah. It's mild. This one. Yeah. It's 3/4 of a sack. We'll get it done. I guess that's why half a sack. Yeah. Brian Burns higher than half of a sack, just under 1 there. The revenge game in Germany. Versus Bryce Young. I mean, I would be pretty shocked.
Here's my prediction:
if he doesn't get a sack in this game.
Bryce Young looks really confident in the pocket.
So Bryce Young is small,
yes,
and Brian Burns, while skinny, is actually kind of a big dude. When he sacks Bryce Young, it's going to be hilarious. It's gonna just him and Dexter Lawrence is going to come through, and it's like going to be like a bounce house. He's going to do the sexy Dexy dance.
Oh boy.
There's gonna be it's gonna get very erotic.
Ryan was really emphatic with that sound effect.
All right, Sean, what are you doing? Lurking back there in the shadows because they don't have a Troutman number.
Yeah, well, I'm pivoting. I think I wanted to see if they have the Aaron Jones receiving yards number. They don't. But why don't we just go to George Kittle receiving yards? 58.5. Kramer likes it. I like it. Feels like a good way to round out this entry.
Do we just add a random NBA because I have an NBA gimme pick? No, I'm just kidding.
No, if you do have a gimme, why not use it?
All right, so
I do have a 50% NHL profit boost.
Final answer. What are we going with? We're going with Shakir.
Shakir higher receiving yards, 55.5. Brian Burns higher a half sack, and George Kittle higher 58.5 receiving yards.
All right.
entering that now. Underdogfantasy.com. Promo code BOMBS. Let's get it done. Appreciate everyone hopping in as always. And yeah, good times. Make sure you check out CJ. Subscribe to the Bottom Line Bombs wherever you get your podcasts. Take 5 seconds. Give us 5 stars, please, on Spotify. Really helps us compete with the big dogs. Hanging on to the podcast charts, Ryan. Most seasons were already knocked off by now.
Really?
The TMZ football guys. Some of them don't make it to November.
You know what it is?
Yeah.
My picks have been pretty good lately.
Yes.
10-4 in my locks
there
last
you go.
7 weeks. Thanks for thanks for being here.
They know I'm due for positive regression on my locks. So stay tuned for that.
And a lot of people from Bo Nix's family probably listen, so they enjoy your positive takes on it.
Thank you. And yes, let's see. NF. I think this is Nick in the chat saying, Sean, you said the Niners think they are making the playoffs when discussing if they limit over using CMC. Just curious to hear if you think the Niners make it. If you had to pick, not lean. I would pick the 49ers to make the playoffs right now.
I mean, this is what they do every year. They go 3-4, they go 4-5. Every year they went to the Super Bowl, NFC Championship game, whatever. Just they started out this way every single time.
In the same way that the Eagles started out 10-1 and then hit their Super Bowl hangover late. I think for the Niners, they hit theirs early.
Right.
Some of the guys are getting back. They're healthy. The schedule is doable. I think they will end up being either a wild card, and they're like odds-on favorites still to win the division.
They're going to win it.
Which price wise, I'd rather maybe take. I'm intrigued by the Rams still, and the Rams beat them head to head, but
plus 105. Cardinals plus 220. Rams plus 380.
Yeah, I guess I would take the Rams right now at 380 just because I think it's closer to a toss up. But
I would go into my pocket, look at my Cardinals 14-1.
Yes.
Okay, CJ, what would you rather? What would you rather have? Rams 380 or Ryan's 14-1? I actually would rather have the Rams 380.
I mean,
if I'm buying right now, it's the
Cardinals are gonna fuck it up at some point.
Yeah.
You think so?
I guess I'm just a little skeptical of the Cardinals in December, but
yeah, I don't trust Kyler Murray either.
Yeah, he seems to hit the wall, but maybe it's maybe Cliff, maybe it was Cliff, and maybe it's Kingsbury's going to be
he looks pretty good in Washington.
Still early November. That's usually when things change for the Cardinals.
They do adjust to him.
All right. Thank you as always, everyone tuning in, and of course,
thank you for participating in the Sports Gambling Podcast.
Real quick, 49ers minus 160 to make the playoffs, plus 135 to miss the playoffs.
I do think they make it, but I'm not betting it.
And what's their division price?
The division price was plus 105.
See, I'd rather play that.
Yeah.
I don't see a wild card in it.
They missed plus 135.
All right.
It's not the same. They've lost. They lost a lot. And you're reporting C-Mac's not back.
Whoa, not yet. They're gonna hold on.
Thank you for participating in the Sports Gambling Podcast.
For the Sports Gambling Podcast, I'm Sean, stacking the money green. He's Ryan.
I'm on a heater.
Kramer. Let it rip.